All right, what's going on, everybody? Isaac Fleischer here, and welcome to another iHoopsFL interview. Now, before we begin, make sure you guys give me a follow on Instagram at iHoopsFL. That's where you can find all the highlights, all the best clips. Anything interview related can be found on my Instagram at iHoopsFL. And for you guys, maybe want to see any of the other work that I've done around the world of basketball, I might also post all the articles I've written for a company down here in South Florida on my Twitter page at iHoopsRecruits. So again, iHoopsFL for interview stuff. Twitter at iHoopsRecruits for articles and recruitment info. But anyways, let me bring on our guest right now. What's going on, my guy? How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. What's the deal with like your season and everything like that? Is that started off well?
Yeah, I mean, we started off pretty slow. Our current record right now is 3-5, but we're starting to get things going.
And I think you said, did you say you're bringing in Addison Poss with you guys too?
Yeah, she's with us right now.
Yeah. So how were you guys able to get her to join your team and all that stuff? 'Cause that's obviously like a pretty big move for you guys.
Well, her season in New York got canceled, so she came back down home and is playing with me now. So,
Okay, but did you guys like? Was she always going to plan on playing with you guys, or did you kind of have to recruit her in a way, or like how were you able to get her to pick a school?
she planned on playing with us.
Okay, so I guess it's pretty simple, but and we get right into the interview. So you recently put out your top 8 schools. I think it hasn't been a week ago yet, and I just want to know like why have you chosen to put out your top 8 now? Because since you are the class of 2022, you do have a lot of time in your recruitment. So why'd you choose to cut it down right now at this point in your career?
So I mean, a lot of the schools, I've been talking to them for a while. We have an amazing relationship, and I already have an idea of where I want to go. So, might as well come down with my final 8.
And do you think you can maybe take us through each school in your top 8 and why you put them in there?
All right. So, the first school is Miami. They're home. They were like my third offer. Just I feel like I fit in their style of play, and I have a good relationship with the coaching staff. And then my next school is Georgia. I love Coach Joni and Coach Chelsea. They're like family to me, and they're close to home too. Next is Virginia. Just the fact that the whole coaching staff pretty much played professional basketball. Tina Thompson was the first WNBA player ever, so just learning from her. And then next is Louisville. They have a lot of pros that came from Louisville. They have Dana Evans there and Haley Van Lith. So just seeing, people that are kind of out on my game after there makes me want to go there. And then
My bad. I was trying to see something for a question. You'll see, but yeah, keep
um,
talking.
next is Mississippi State. Coach Nikki McCray. We have a good relationship. She played professional basketball. Ole Miss. Me and Coach Yo, amazing relationship. She's a players coach. She cares for her players, which I really like. And then last is Arizona. They came pretty late, but just we've been just building our relationship a lot lately. And they have Ari McDonald, which I really like her game.
And I'm sure you're laughing now when I had the whole little some of the music from your little your top 8 list. Because I was making sure I was fact checking myself because I saw Olivia over at Louisville. I saw her like commenting on your post and all that stuff. So once you put out that list, have a lot of different players been reaching out to you and all that stuff, trying to recruit you now to get to their schools. And if so, like what players and what schools?
Yeah, so Olivia was one of them. Ari McDonald was another one. Um, and then like a couple players from Miami were recruiting me to come there. So yeah.
And can you tell us like what was it like being recruited by players? Like how do they kind of because obviously it's as much as they are trying to recruit you, like at the same time they are kind of like building a more friendship relationship, all that stuff. So what's it like when you're talking to players that you may potentially be teaming up with in a couple of years?
Well, I mean, I asked them a lot of things about like how coaches, and just like just how they interact with the players. Like, I don't want it to be a thing of when I get there, they kind of forget about me. Like, are we going to continue to build this relationship? Do you actually care about me as a person rather than just a basketball player? So I ask stuff like that.
So I was like, you literally ask him like I'm just wondering like do you really like care about me? Or are you just trying to recruit me? Like you ask him that question like straight up.
Yeah, I will. I will. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty bold. Like that's kind of what I wonder. Some people, or I more wonder if people think that about me too, because at the same time, like I'm asking you like, hey, like you want to do an interview? Like, okay, sure, but then like, I guess like at the same time, they probably don't really care like where like a friendship goes. But at least for me personally, like I at least try to be somewhat genuine because I don't know, like I just like talking to people, meeting people, and I love basketball too. So like, why not like talk to those people a lot? So that's kind of my preference with that. But I'm wondering, you mentioned wait, is it Aaron McDonald or Aaron Donald? I forgot.
Ari McDonald.
I also want to make sure. I think you said like you really love her game and all that stuff. So when she's kind of reaching out to you, was that maybe one of the cooler people you've talked to, or like how special was that moment for you?
It was really special because just the fact that these players that take time out their day to talk to you, like they can be doing anything else, but instead they're talking to you. So it's just it really meant a lot.
And I ask a lot of players these questions, but it does seem like you've talked to a lot of cool people in the basketball world throughout your career. Who's maybe some of the cooler people you've ever talked to?
Definitely Jasmine Jones. She plays for the New York Liberty right now. I talked to her about Louisville and how why she chose Louisville. So.
Okay, and like, how'd you get the opportunity to speak to her? Did you reach out to her, or was a pro player even recruiting you too to go to a school? Like, how'd you get that opportunity?
I reached out to her about Louisville, and so we talked on the phone and stuff. So.
And obviously, I'm sure for you it's a little bit different, just because you're ranked top 20 in the nation by ESPN. Like, you're obviously one of the top players in probably the whole world right now for girls basketball. So it's probably easier for you to talk to people. But just like how does it feel knowing you could talk to players in the WNBA right now whenever you want? They'll probably give you like a chance to respond to you. Like, how easy is it to have like all those connections like so accessible to you all the time?
It's a blessing because just looking at like where I came from and where I am now, and like just how I can just reach out to people and they'll hit me back up. So it's a blessing.
And did you always want to be a professional basketball player, or what? When did you start playing basketball a lot and like took it really seriously?
So I started hooping in like third grade, but then I started taking it serious in middle school. I was like, I think, I want to be a pro, so I just been going hard ever since.
And throwing no shade at girls basketball whatsoever. But I know like at least for some schools, like there's some girls like or some schools they just don't have that big of a girls basketball program where anybody can play on the team. Like they probably don't even have a tryout. Like some people just play it more just for the fun of it, like not really taking it seriously. Like how are you able to separate yourself from being on a team where you're almost carrying a team with a bunch of girls that don't care at all and they're just kind of playing just to get active, and then like how are you able to make sure you start with people that really care about the game? I really wanted to take it to the next level instead of playing with people that just didn't care about it that much and were just doing it for exercise.
So I've dealt with this personally. I'm not gonna say what school it was, but just at first it was frustrating. But now just looking back on it, it wouldn't have made me the player I am today. And I have to realize people aren't gonna work as hard as me, so just can't get frustrated with them.
Yeah, and it's not even like getting frustrated. And there's nothing wrong carrying a basketball team. Like that's always cool. You could kind of put a team on your back like that. But if you want to get better, like if your team kind of sucks and there's just you, like those practices are going to be bad. Like there's no way you'll be able to get better anyway. So that's why it's like important to be around people that care about it at least to a certain extent.
Yeah, definitely, because iron sharpens iron. If I'm in practice and it's nobody good, how is that going to push me to be the player that I want to become? So yeah.
And you don't have to say names, but like, have you ever had a practice where it was just so easy for you, like pretty much like everything you did, like every shot was going in, like breaking ankles? Like, have you ever had a practice like that before?
um Pretty much all the time, like it's just scoring has just come so easy to me. Like it's like it's just so easy. So pretty much every practice.
Yeah, so I guess like when you're going off like that in practice, like is that probably one of the more fun things you're gonna do, just because like in practice like no one's watching, it's kind of like you playing basketball. Like do you almost like having like a dominant practice more?
Probably not because I just like adversity. So just going to a game and the crowd saying like negative stuff towards me, it kind of gets me to elevate my game even more. So I like playing games rather than doing practice.
Yeah, I guess in the end they're both fun. And going back to the recruitment, obviously I talked to you a little bit about this. At the moment, I'm a Hurricanes fan. I've been on my whole life since I got on the college sports. You said they're in your top eight. One of the first schools to reach out to you. Can you talk about like how they've been recruiting you throughout all this?
I went down for unofficial about 2 years ago. I wasn't offered then, but I went to the elite camp and I was just busting everybody's butt. Like it was no question that I was the best player out there. And I remember Coach calling me into her office with my family with me, and she offered me a scholarship. And I was so happy because it was one of my first offers. So
And you kind of mentioned like what you like about the school. I want like in terms of their playing style, how does that kind of fit you as a basketball player?
so they really their guards. They've had a lot of the previous guards that went there kind of play like me, very shifty. Like to get up the court, push the ball, play fast. So Miami plays fast, and I play fast, so kind of goes together.
And if you did end up going to UM, what would be some of your goals and expectations for your college career over there?
Well, the ultimate goal is to win the national championship, so that'll be just crazy. Um, but then just trying to become the best player I can be so that I have the opportunity to play professional basketball.
That's awesome. And again, releasing your top eight, how's that recruitment process changed? Are some schools reaching out to you, maybe even like a little bit more than they were before, just because you put them on that list? And just how's like that whole recruitment process changed overall, now that you put that out there?
It's changed a lot because I surprised a lot of people with the list. Like I didn't tell any schools I was coming out with it. So I know a couple of schools hit me up and were like, "Oh, yo, we're going even harder." Like I had no idea we would get you. So they just been going hard. Like two schools have reached out to me that haven't offered me before, and are trying to like talk to me now. But yeah, that's it.
And do you think you can maybe share what those two schools are, or is that kind of like at least private for now?
That's private for right now.
All right, all right. Well, I just want to at least get like your personal opinion on this, because I saw like Matthew Cleveland. I don't know if you've seen this before. Like he committed to FSU. I think he like put something out. He said something like, "Yeah, I think UNC, Duke, like they were all reaching out to me late, and I told him like, sorry, like I'm not gonna let you guys come in late." What's your opinion on that? Like, so how some schools now are trying to reach out to you, after you put out the list. Like, do you think you're gonna kind of give them a chance, or is it gonna be a little bit difficult for them to land you now, just since they weren't there from the start?
It's gonna be pretty difficult because I wanted to come out with this top eight a while back, but I've been kind of waiting for the bigger schools to come in. So I probably will most likely turn them down because I already know where I want to go. So
And when you say you already know where you want to go, like, do you literally know out of that top eight which school it is? Obviously, you need to share your school, but do you know which school that is already, or you just know that out of that top eight, it's one of those schools?
yeah, yeah, I don't know where I want to go. It's just those schools. That's it.
Yeah, like, even if you did, you didn't say anything like this school I want to go to more than the other, so it wouldn't even matter. So, anyways, even if you, oh shoot, my bad, I pressed on the wrong button. Hold on a second. Uh, my bad, I pressed on the wrong button. But I'm wondering like what's your timetable for your commitment? Are you trying to commit your senior year, or maybe even trying to commit not early, but maybe at the end of your junior year? But when do you expect to get that out of the way?
I'm kind of gonna let just nature take its course. I might commit soon. Within the next 2 months, I might commit. in the next 5 months, in the next year. So I'll see how things go.
And so I guess one of those people where you're just gonna know like like the time. Like some guys like maybe you'll have a phone call with a certain school and you're just like yeah this is the one. That's kind of when you're just kind of maybe even use that adrenaline a little bit. Just commit like that.
Yeah, yeah, I've had a couple of those conversations, but I just kind of been holding back because I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, but now pretty much like any moment like because I even some people like they'll just go to sleep and wake up in the morning and they're like yeah like this is the school. Or I think I may have even know one player where they just went to sleep, woke up middle of the night, and they just were like yeah I want to go there, and that's where they went. So I guess is that kind of how it's going to work for you? Like it could be a year from now, it could be even tomorrow. Like is that kind of how you're going to roll with this?
Yeah, just off instinct. That's how I'm gonna do it.
And is that something like I don't want to make you like I guess regret your decision in any way like when you make it, but are you not concerned like I guess like instinct's cool and all, and I kind of do that sometimes. At least like when I'm betting on games like college basketball, not betting like real betting, but like I just always go with my heart. But like, are you maybe at all concerned like you got to maybe contemplate the pros and cons and all, or are you literally just gonna again just go with your gut?
That's why I thank my parents for it because I have an amazing relationship with them. So when I get that thought of like I want to commit here, I call them up, I talk to them, and they kind of humble me and say, Kailyn, like, are you sure this is the decision you want to make? Like, not a thing of like they're trying to keep me from going somewhere
Mhm.
because open to wherever, but just saying, Kailyn, like, I think you should wait, take your visits, and then see how it is. So I really thank them for that.
And you said take your visits. Obviously, that's going to be very tough. Is there a chance you may end up committing like without taking a visit, or are you going to hope that that kind of ends soon? Because obviously, like you may not be able to go on a visit, like an official visit ever.
So the goal is to take a visit, but like I said, I'm gonna let nature take its course.
Mhm.
If I end up committing somewhere before, then that's just how it is.
Definitely. And you mentioned your parents, and I guess the kind of the big process they will have when you kind of have those types of thoughts. Can you take us through like how you were able to pick those 8 schools? Like, did you maybe make just a list on a sheet of paper, like every school they offered you, and then kind of decide which ones you thought you had a better chance on, like making that the right place for you more than others? Like, how were you able to literally formulate that these 8 schools are the schools?
So I put out on a sheet of paper and I listed all the schools that had offered me, and then the first thing I went by was the relationship with the head coach. Some schools had offered me for over a year, and I hadn't talked to the head coach yet, so I just X'd them off immediately, and then I start going into like the schools that I felt that played more style, like my style of basketball, and then I just came down to my final 8.
Yeah, and like again, there's another curious question. How many times did you read over the list just to make sure you weren't missing any of the schools?
I missed a lot of schools. I had sent it to the dude that did my or the lady that did my edit, and then I like unsent it, and I was like, wait, hold up, I forgot this. So it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I can just imagine myself like if I'm gonna put out any list, like I would imagine myself as reading it like over and over and over again. Because and then, like probably right before I post it, like I'd probably have to read it again because I'm like I definitely like left out of school. Like I'd be so nervous that I left out like a school or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I left out of school and I had texted them like right before they were done doing it. So yeah.
Yeah, luckily, like it's not even that hard because all really like no shade to like people that make edits, but at least like once you kind of get like all the schools, maybe what the one they'll have to do is make the logos a little bit smaller, but all they kind of need to do is just throw another logo in there, so it's not really too much of a challenge for them.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Yeah, and just like what sorts of things are you going to look for in a school?
Just my relationships, like how we vibe. If I kind of get like kind of sketchy vibes from you, then I'm gonna back away a little bit, cause I plan on being at a school for 4 years, and I don't want to get there and be unhappy. So yeah, just the relationships with the coaches.
And going into your high school season now, even though it has already started, what are some of your goals for that, and how have you been kind of achieving those goals already?
So the ultimate goal is state championship, and then I want to get the Florida Gatorade Player of the Year. Um, so yeah, that's it. That's it.
And those are definitely some pretty solid goals. And you recently put up 46 points in one of your high school basketball games against some top players in Florida and the country. So why were you so successful in that game?
So that game, it was a player on there. I forgot her name. She's number 2 player in the country.
Mhm.
Um, she was just talking a lot of trash. She thinks I'm not that good, so I had to go out there and show her why I'm better than her, and I clearly did that. So yeah.
So I thought I was gonna ask you off. I was gonna ask like before we start the interview, like, are you friends with her and all that stuff? But I guess so. There's like, is that kind of a rivalry now between you two, or?
Oh, it's no beef. It's just on the court. Like I have no friends on the court, so
Mhm.
but I mean we don't talk outside of basketball. We're not friends, so.
Okay, yeah, because I was pretty curious. I saw she's like number 2 player in the country, and now I'm like that's crazy. Like, yeah, they're probably like best friends or something like that. But I guess that's not. But how crazy was the matchup for you? Obviously, like you know, again, you're ranked top 20, so obviously like you're pretty good as well. Just like pretty much almost a 5-star, maybe like a couple spots below being a 5-star. So obviously, like you're one of the top players in the country as well. But just like having that matchup, like just what was the matchup between you two like? And can you talk about that a little bit more?
Well, so I had guarded her to start off, and she didn't score on me, but she never wanted to guard me for some reason. I don't know why, but I mean she's 6'4", so it's kind of like me. I'm 5'8", she's 6'4", so it's kind of we're different positions.
Yeah, I guess it's more like a game, like because maybe not in terms of guarding, but just a game. But like I'm sure it was a lot of back and forth between you two in terms of like maybe she's yeah, and not even trash talk, just in terms of just basketball in general. Like I'm sure she's getting some shots up, then you're getting shots up. Not even in terms of guarding each other in general, just in terms of just the way you guys are playing your own game, respectively.
I talk trash all the time, so every time I was school, I say something to myself, and she'll try to say something back. But I was just in my own world. I wasn't necessarily worrying about what she had going on.
And I haven't looked at your schedule, but are there any other bigger games for you coming up this year, or was that kind of like the headlining matchup of the season?
That was pretty much it. We played them, Braden River, Montverde, which are probably the best. Montverde probably one of the best teams in the country. So we're kind of going downhill with the competition level.
Oh wait. Oh, so you did play Montfort already, right?
Yeah, yeah, we play Montverde.
Okay, I thought you were going to, and I'm like downhill, but you're playing Mount Verse. I got a little bit confused, but wait, just real quick, did you guys end up winning that game, or did you end up losing?
Nah, we lost that game. We lost.
Okay, I mean, obviously, I think they had like 2, ranked players. I don't know how many were on your team, but I don't know if it would have been upset or not. But it's probably nothing to nothing to get upset about. I was just a little bit curious. But going to AAU basketball now, what was it like playing with FGB in the off season?
It was fun just playing against some of the top talent in the country with some of the top players in the country. It's really fun just competing.
And what makes FGB such a special AAU program?
Just the fact that our director, Kenny Kalina, he gets his girls recruited. Like you can say whatever you want to say about Kenny, but he's gonna get you recruited. If you're doing your part, he's gonna get you recruited, and that's all that matters.
Wait, you said you could say whatever you want about. I forgot what you like. What you say? I didn't really hear you that well.
I said just you can say like whatever you want to say about our director, but he
Okay.
gets girls like, and that's the ultimate goal is to get a scholarship to play basketball.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe can you go in like a little more detail? Like, just what has he done for you and your basketball recruitment?
So I came over I think in 7th grade summer, and I had no offers, no interest, no nothing. And I remember playing in summer. I got a couple of letters, and then I got my first offer in ninth grade. So
Yeah, that's definitely that's pretty early as well. Like I don't really know how it works for girl if there's a big difference between like girls basketball recruitment and boys basketball recruitment. Where because I know for boys like some don't get offers till their senior year or something like that, like super late. I don't know, like is girls basketball is that kind of start a lot earlier for recruitment, or usually like does this happen with girls too, where they can even play like 2 full seasons of high school basketball with no offers and all of a sudden blow up.
yeah, that's kind of what happens with a lot of girls. But I know a lot of girls are getting offers in sixth grade, which is crazy.
Yeah, like girls in Florida have offers for, like in sixth grade that you know.
I know a couple did, but mainly out of state. Sixth grade, I'm like, gosh, they're in middle school. I mean, how do you know they're gonna be good? So
Yeah, I'm going to see some clips of that because that's pretty that's very very young. But obviously like those sixth graders they're destined for greatness at least at the moment. Again, I said this during the interview a lot. You are ranked top 20 by ESPN, so obviously at least for now, if you kind of go off that thing, I mean you're projected if the rankings stay the same for the rest of your life. You know you'd be projected to go to the WNBA pretty much. So what's it like being ranked by ESPN and almost seeing right now, like as long as you stay consistent, I mean the rest is pretty much history.
it's a lot to take in. At first when the rankings came out, I didn't know I was gonna be that high. I was 118, and now like to number 18, it's crazy. But I just use it as motivation because those rankings aren't set for sure. People drop off the list, people move up. So just continuing to get better and keep improving. That's all I'm focused on.
For sure. And I got one more question for you. I want to know what kind of legacy are you trying to leave for girls basketball?
I just want girls to know that they can hoop too, and just to work hard, and you will be successful. And forget what everybody else says. Just work hard, do your thing, be confident, play your game, and you will be successful. That's it.
All right, that sounds pretty awesome. Anyways, before we get in the interview, is there anything you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Nah. Oh, shout out Coach Chris Ward for always beating me and in 3-point shootout. Yeah, that's it.
All right, sounds good. Well, anyways, thank you so much for taking your time coming on. I really, really, really appreciate it. Make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram at Kailyn G. Or sorry, just Kailyn Gilbert _ I thought it was Kailyn G Gilbert for a second, but it was straight. That stuff confuses me a lot when people just have their full names with like no space. But again, at Kailyn G Gilbert _ and at iHoopsFL. Anyways, for 2022 point guard Kailyn Gilbert, I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.